If that answers your question, I think we are good to go. Let's talk about this story. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk a little bit about mental illness before I start this story, because I've had a lot of people get onto my case for a while now because I have some harsh criticism just about criminals who do heinous things, and I don't believe there should be any excuses given for people, whether they're mentally challenged, emotionally challenged. I really don't care, especially if it involves our children, right? I think those people need to be dealt with, and we just need to move on in this world, because what we need solutions for our babies. That's where I stand with that. Now, with this particular story, it involves a 5-year-old boy by the name of Cannon Hinnant, who was only 5 years old. And this baby boy right here with this awesome, beautiful, innocent smile. There is absolutely nothing this baby could have done wrong to deserve the demise that he met at the hands of that damn demon over there. Okay? It really sucks. And like I said, man, I think this dude needs to be dealt with. But I'm going to tell you guys this. I have a new hashtag that we're going to call this. Hashtag no more excuses. Thank you. I like that. If y'all know one of our AFC hashtags, post it in the chat. One of our new hashtags is going to be hashtag stupid is as stupid thugs. Hashtag stupid is as stupid thugs. I want y'all to type that in the chat. That's going to be one of our new hashtags, because that's how I'm going to describe this damn idiot who has a long criminal history, which we're going to talk about, and we're going to expose it if you didn't already know. Now, the 5-year-old boy that you guys saw on my screen, which is this baby boy right here. That is 5-year-old Cannon Hinnant, and he was executed at point blank range with a gunshot to the head by that crazy, criminally insane dude that y'all saw on my screen, which was this idiot. He is 25 years old. He is a 25-year-old felon, and his name is Darius Nathaniel Sessoms, which is spelled Sessoms. Sessoms. With that stupid ass look on his face. Hashtag stupid is as stupid thugs. Like stupid is as stupid does, but instead of stupid is as stupid does, we're going to call it stupid is as stupid thugs. Because this dude is a thug, he's stupid, and he did something stupid. He should have never been allowed to be around any children at all. Now, that dude that you see on my screen did something to this baby boy. While this baby boy was out riding his bicycle, like most kids do in their neighborhoods, he was riding his bike and playing outside with his sisters outside of his own house on Sunday evening when he was shot in the head. I'm going to give you guys some details, so I want you to brace yourselves. If you can't handle it, then I understand if you can't be here to listen to it. For everybody else, I want y'all to hear the story of this baby. Listen to what this baby went through. Cannon Hinnant's brutal murder was reportedly witnessed by his 2 young sisters and a neighbor who could not believe what they saw. I saw him just run right up to him, and he put the gun right up to his head and shot him. And that's according to a neighbor by the name of Doris LeBrant, and she actually gave an interview, which we'll show that here in a minute. Darius Sessoms, who is Hinnant's next door neighbor, is being charged with first-degree murder. And yes, I said that he was a neighbor. He was familiar with this family. How does this even happen? Why does this even happen? Because it doesn't seem to have any logical reason why this happened, especially once I give you guys more information about this story, okay? Let me take a pause for the cause real quick. Let me shout out Miss Nisi, who not only joined the AFC membership, but upgraded to AFC Premier. So Miss Nisi, not only thank you for all your donations, but thank you for upgrading to our top tier. Always showing love. Thank you, Miss Nisi. Let me also give a shout out real quick to Desi D, who also rejoined the channel membership. So thank you again for reaffirming your faith in the AFC and what we stand for here. So thank you for that. So let's keep going. Darius Sessoms was their neighbor. Hinnant's murder is being ignored by national media and has only been covered by local news outlets. I think that this absolutely should be a national story, and I'm going to tell you guys why I believe that it's not. It seems like whenever there is a certain narrative, when it's black on white crime or when it's black on black crime, it never seems to get the type of news coverage that I believe it should, which is national coverage, right? Because I don't believe that race should be the dictating factor as to what gets shown on the goddamn news. But it's funny how whenever a white person does something to any black person at all, whether they yell at them or scream at them or stand behind their car and block traffic, or whether they look at them wrong, or whether they get on the cell phone and call the police, or whatever it is that they have done that is not physical and not violent to people, oh shit, that makes national news. That's a national outcry. That's racist. That's racist. She shouldn't be allowed to do that. All the while, all it does is just minorly inconvenience you. But that makes national news. But what you have here is a beautiful baby boy. And this baby boy could have become anything. He was not allowed to speak for himself. He was not allowed to defend himself against a 25-year-old black male thug. That's what he is. I'm going to give you more details about why I label this jackass a thug. Besides that stupid look on his face. I believe if you have a stupid look on your face like that, you shouldn't be allowed to live in people's neighborhoods, right? You should be in a mental institution some damn where. That's just a stupid look on his face. Let me give a shout out real quick. India Bennett, who joined the channel membership. I want to say thank you so much for believing in what we stand for. Thank you for joining the family. Shout out India Bennett in the chat in the building. It's so funny how we want to riot over grown people being murdered in the street for whatever reason. I get it. But it's funny how that same vitriol, that same feeling in your heart is not felt when it happens to children. And it makes me wonder why. Why do women's lives matter more than kids? Why do men's lives matter more than kids? Why does a grown black woman's life matter more than a kid? Why does a grown black man's life matter more than a kid? Why does anybody's life who is lost matter more than children? They are the smallest of us. They're the most defenseless of us, and they depend on us for every single thing that they get. These babies need us, and they need a voice, and that's what we tend to represent. Us as a family, us in the chat. Now, let's keep going. Family members say that 5-year-old boy, Cannon Hinnant, was playing outside his father's house. Hashtag, where's the biological father? There he is. The father is here. He was playing outside of his father's house when he was shot in the head. The boy's 2 sisters, who range in age of 8 years old and 7 years old, saw their brother get shot, according to Cannon's mother. Baby Cannon was taken to Wilson Medical Center, but of course he succumbed to his injuries and he died. No details are available about the possible motive for the shooting, but the police say that this was not random. And again, I've told you guys, because they're neighbors, and he did know this family. He was familiar with this family, which makes this even weirder. Because Darius Sessoms lives next door to Cannon's father. And yes, that's the same mugshot. He got tattoos all across his neck with that stupid look on his face right there. That stupid look right there. He lives next door to them, and the neighbor said that the 2 men actually had dinner together Saturday night, and that Darius Sessoms was at his neighbor's home earlier that same Sunday. Doris LeBrett, who was one of the neighbors who witnessed the shooting, said that Darius Sessoms, that guy, ran up to the 5-year-old boy, Cannon. He took that gun, put it near his head, and shot him and fired that weapon before running back into his own house. The neighbor said, my first reaction was he's playing with the kids. For a second, I thought that couldn't happen. People don't just run across the street and kill kids. She said she realized the gun was real when she saw Cannon's father's reaction to the shooting, and she quickly went inside her home, locked the door, and tried to call 911. Why we out here defunding the police when there are people that actually do appreciate the police? Why she tried to call 911, but I digress. She said, you don't expect to see somebody shoot someone. The news released a follow-up report about Darius Sessoms was caught by members of the U.S. Marshal Service, Carolina's Regional Fugitive Task Force. Damn, that is a lot of words. Goldsboro Police and the Wayne County Sheriff's Office. And they released this statement. Darius Sessoms was convicted of felony larceny of firearms in Wilson County in March of 2016. Remember when I called him a thug? Listen to this. He was convicted of felony larceny of firearms in Wilson County in March of 2016. Misdemeanor maintaining a place for a controlled substance in Wake County in April of 2016, and felony marijuana possession in Nash County in November of 2016, according to the North Carolina Department of Public Safety records. His probation was revoked twice in 2017, resulting in separate 3-month stints in prison. That's your thug. That's your criminal. That's your non-law abiding citizen. Okay? Court records show that Darius Sessoms has not one, but 2 pending counts of felony maintaining a vehicle, dwelling or place for a controlled substance in Wilson County. So there are still more charges that still need to be handled on his behalf. Now, this baby boy, Cannon's family and friends are demanding justice for Cannon on social media. If y'all could put that in the chat, hashtag justice for Cannon. Justice for Cannon in the chat. Okay? Now, we have 252 people watching. Our goal is to try to reach 300 thumbs up. We're a little bit short on that goal, so the people that are watching, if y'all would click that thumbs up, it will help share our stream and let other people know that we're live. And I want to say thank you to everybody that didn't need to be told. They just came in and already clicked that thumbs up, okay? So I wanted to thank you guys for clicking that thumbs up. Let's keep going. Cannon's life mattered. That's coming from somebody by the name of Heather Morgan on Facebook, and said, my 3-year-old grandson says to me, Mimi, I miss Cannon so much. Why did he have to be in that road, Mimi? I just want to play with him. They had a candlelit vigil that was organized for Friday night at 8 p.m. in Wilson County Courthouse. Not a balloon release, but they had a candlelit vigil. Thank goodness for that. Because a lot of people don't know how dangerous these balloons are. When you pollute the environment, you trash the environment, they can knock out power, they can hit power lines, they can kill animals. And also something that I just learned earlier today, shout out to Addie, by the way, that balloons can actually cause engine failures on airplanes. How many of you guys out there have ever flown in an airplane? How many of you guys would feel hella unsafe while you're tens of thousands of feet in the air and you have a malfunction with your airplane, with your life and your luggage, and your life hangs in the balance of somebody releasing some goddamn balloons, and that over one person that got killed, that could potentially kill 300 or 400 people on an airplane? How much sense does that make to continue to keep releasing balloons into the atmosphere? But I'm going to get off that rant for right now, since don't nobody want to hear that. He was just a loving kid, said Bonnie Waddle. Cannon's mother said through tears on Monday, according to the Wilson Times. He had the biggest heart. Now, there was a GoFundMe that was launched by a relative of Cannon's to help with funeral expenses, anything along the way for Cannon's mother and father with permission. Now, I know some people have some thoughts and feelings, but I am so serious when I say this about these GoFundMe accounts. GoFundMe should not supplement your lack of having insurance on your kid. And I know the mom and I know the dad are grieving right now. So understand, I get it. I get it. I know they're grieving. You ain't got to remind me. I know they're grieving. I get it. And I do have a heart for that. But this should be a clear reminder for everybody listening to my voice going forward to get life insurance on your children. So you have a 7-year-old and an 8-year-old child left over in the wake of this tragedy with baby Cannon, who was only 5 years old. Not only should we make sure and get justice for this baby, make sure that this baby gets a proper burial, but you also should take some of that GoFundMe money, get life insurance on your other kids. I'm not going to keep playing with you parents, and I'm not going to continue to keep making excuses for y'all that you's going through something, because I don't really care what you're going through emotionally. You have to be strong enough for your children to be responsible for your children. I thought that's what being a parent actually meant, for us to take care of our kids, watch our kids, protect our kids, nurse our kids, educate our kids, and to make sure that our kids have a stable future. Get life insurance on your kids and stop waiting for these benevolent people out there on GoFundMe to take care of something that you should have taken care of. Life insurance. Everybody needs it. Let's keep going with this story. That GoFundMe account grew up to $5,000, but the organizer said the donations can still be made directly to the Shingleton Funeral Home, which, again, that's the Shingleton Funeral Home for anybody who wants to do that. Now, another GoFundMe was launched after the prior one was paused. So, yes, I'm going to go in on these GoFundMes. I'm going to read that again. Another GoFundMe, a second GoFundMe was launched after the first one was paused. But y'all don't see a problem with that? That's not a problem. I think it's a problem. You should not be allowed to benefit off of the back of your children. In the AFC, we call that hashtag babies for benefits, because it seems like any benefit that we can collect from our children, we tend to do that in our society, and I don't like it, and I think it should stop. I think it's disgusting. I think it's despicable, and I think that people need to start thinking outside of themselves and start thinking more about these babies. There's no reason that this beautiful baby boy's life should not have been protected, at least by something as basic as life insurance. I think he deserved it. He absolutely deserved to have protection. Okay? Now, I'm going to read this part because this is actually a personal comment from somebody who wrote this, and I thought it was actually pretty poignant. The national news media will blow up every story of a thug getting shot by the police to help trigger rioting and looting across the country. But when a criminal thug reportedly shoots a 5-year-old white child in the head, all we hear is crickets. Wow. Cannon Hinnant's life mattered. If we had any honest media in the country, everybody should know this baby boy's name. And you know what? I agree. I agree with those sentiments. Let me give you guys the fair usage, and I'll show you guys the news videos, and let me let you hear what they said. Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. All right, let's get it.
I'm Russ going into breaking news center. A man wanted for shooting a 5-year-old child now under arrest tonight. Police just telling us, CBS 17, that they have arrested Darius Sessoms. He's accused of shooting and killing 5-year-old Hinnant. Imani Payne is in Wilson with how the community is honoring the victim. And Imani, there must be relief that there has been an arrest.
There is some relief, but people here are still shocked and very heartbroken. Now, Wilson police tell us that the suspect, Darius Sessoms, was just arrested about 10 minutes ago. They say that the U.S. Marshal's Office did assist them in this arrest, and they say more information about the capture will be released soon. Now, if you remember, police tell us that Darius Sessoms shot and killed the 5-year-old little boy named Cannon on Archers Road Sunday night and then just took off. Tonight, the community will hold a End Violence Against Children peaceful protest and vigil. That's taking place at the Walmart on Forest Hills in honor of Cannon, saying senseless violence will not be tolerated here in Wilson. Now, the event is open to the public, and that is scheduled to start in about half an hour. For now, we're live in Wilson. Imani Payne, CBS 17 News.
Glad to hear an arrest has been.
And we begin with breaking news this afternoon. Within the past 20 minutes, we learned the suspect accused of shooting and killing a 5-year-old boy is now in police custody. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I'm David Crabtree.
And I'm Deborah Morgan. WRAL's Sloan Heffernan spoke with the child's grieving family today. She's live at the scene in Wilson. Sloan?
Deborah and David, there is a lot of relief in this neighborhood tonight now that the suspect is in police custody. Neighbors tell us that they witnessed what happened here last night. The shooting happened at this house. The suspect lives right next door at this house. One neighbor across the street tells us that the two had dinner together Friday night and that the suspect was even over at the victim's house yesterday afternoon. Later on in the evening at around 5:30, that neighbor tells us that the suspect came running across the lawn, came up to the little boy who was on the bike, and shot him in the head, his two sisters looking on. The question tonight, why?
5-year-old Cannon Hinnant loved to ride his bike and loved animals. His mother tells us he was always smiling and loved his family. Now the family is preparing for his funeral after they say he was shot in the head while playing outside at his father's home on Archer Road in Wilson at around 5:30 Sunday night. Police say 25-year-old Darius Sessoms, a neighbor, shot the child, and it was not an accident. The reason is still unclear. Police believe the suspect took off in this black Toyota Corolla without a front bumper. Cannon's family was too distraught to talk on camera. They just hope the killer is brought to justice.
And I just got off the phone with the child's grandmother, and she says the family is happy to hear this news. They are just devastated over the loss of this child. The suspect in this case has been brought from Goldsboro to Wilson and will now face first-degree murder charges. We will continue to work to get more information to find out what led to this murder. Back to you.
Boy, Sloan, that question of why is just a heavy one tonight. Sloan Heffernan, live in Wilson. Thank you.
Justice, that's what some...
Let me say this real quick, because I agree with somebody in the chat. Darcy Ann said the father must know why. How many of you guys agree with that? I absolutely believe that something happened. Like, I'm sorry, but I just think that this wasn't as random as they make it seem. I'm not blaming this on the dad, but what I am saying is that I wish he would come out and tell us something. I think something happened. I don't think this was random. And if it was random, okay, let's talk about this for a moment. How much sense does this make? The fact that not only did they live next to each other, they clearly knew each other, they've had interactions before, he was over at his house before, and he was over for dinner the day before that this happened. And y'all just think that this dude just ran up on his kid and shot his kid in the head for no damn reason? He could just be that stupid. It is possible that he could just be that stupid. But I honestly think that there's something more going on, and I don't want people to get mad because we're questioning it. Because we should have the right to think. Don't y'all think that I have the right to think? I'm somebody who don't live there. I should have the right to think. Why is thinking illegal in the United States of America? I thought we had free speech, but apparently we don't have free thought. All I'm saying is I'm thinking it, and I would love to have those questions answered. That's all I'm saying, right? So I agree with that. Now let's keep going.
Are feeling in Wilson County after a man is arrested for the shooting death of a 5-year-old boy.
CBS 17's Imani Payne is in Wilson tonight. And Imani, how did this even happen?
Well, the suspect was on the run for 1 day before being located and arrested by Wilson PD officers, along with help from the U.S. Marshal's Office. Now, the little boy's family gathered here at Walmart today to honor him, and they say while this arrest does not bring him back, it does help them start to heal. 5-year-old Cannon Hinnant no longer here, but still leaving an impact. The community calling for an end to violence against children in his honor at this event organized by some of his family.
Really, everybody just wants answers, you know, for why this was done.
The boy's uncle says Cannon was outside with his siblings playing on his bike when he was shot and killed by this man, Darius Sessoms. He's now booked on a murder charge with no bond following a day-long manhunt. He was found at a home in Goldsboro. The family says they've known the suspect for many years, even living near each other.
We used to play together, and I never thought he'd kill someone. A mother now has to lay her son to rest at 5 years old, which she should never have to do.
The town mayor shaken by the tragedy, coming out to pay his respects.
I have a child.
Now, since we are live, I can read the chat. Let me see. White Wolf said, do you think there's something they're not saying? I can't imagine if they knew he had a mental issue. Why have this person at your house and around your children? So I do agree with that. So if we're going to follow common sense, then you would think that if they knew that this dude, I'm sorry, in the neighborhood that I grew up in, if we knew that somebody was trouble, we didn't have them around our house. They weren't allowed to come over, come play, come kick it, let alone have dinner inside our house, right? So one would have to deduce, if we're going to use our critical thinking and put our thinking caps on, that there must not have been a problem and then there became a problem over something. There was something that happened. There was something that occurred that made this absolute idiot unstable. But like I said, if the dad would come out and just say, hey, nothing happened, he just snapped on my kid for no reason, then I'm going to tell you guys like this. I would believe the dad because the dude does look stupid and crazy. It could be one of two. It could be one or the other. Somebody said, Honey said, I know you're not sitting here making excuses for this 5-year-old being shot. I want to ask you guys in the question, since you want to post that and you're allowed to post that, to the people in the chat, if you guys want to address that, don't tag that person, that Honey Kenzie, don't tag that person, don't attack that person, but just answer the question without tagging that person, and y'all tell me, do y'all believe that I'm trying to blame this on the 5-year-old kid or make excuses? Because I didn't think I was making excuses. I just don't understand how what I'm saying gets that lost in translation. Does it sound like I'm making excuses? Or does it sound like I'm asking questions as to what caused this? Do we know? No. Do you know? No, you don't. So why can't I ask the question? The most important question that you can ever ask is why? 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 The question is why. I'm not saying anything other than why. Speculation is why. Speculation is hypothesis. Based on what we know, based on what we think, and based on history. Why? It's a theory. Thank you. God, that's scary to think that people can misconstrue. I think people just like misconstruing everything that I say. I don't know, man. I just believe we're better than that. I believe that mentally, I think we're better than that. Let's prove it, man. Come on. Let's keep going.
Child is 5 years old.
my heart broke. My heart broke right then. I went home. I went home right then, and I took my baby and I just hugged her.
The family says Cannon was set to start kindergarten today, but say he's now fulfilling a new mission with a higher power.
Oh, he'll never be forgotten.
The family says they now begin the process of planning a funeral. For now, we're live in Wilson. Imani Payne, CBS 17 News.
Virus. A local community left on edge after a 5-year-old was shot and killed right in front of his family. CBS 17's Holden Kerwicki joining us live right now outside the Wilson Police Department. He has the latest on the search for the man police believe pulled the trigger. And I understand, Holden, we also have some new information about the victim, too.
That's exactly right, Bill. At this time, Wilson police are charging 25-year-old Darius Sessoms with first-degree murder, but they've still yet to be able to track him down. Wilson police actually tell us that Sessoms shot and killed 5-year-old Cannon Hinnant. According to neighbors I spoke with off camera, the 5-year-old Hinnant was playing with a group of kids at the time of the shooting. Investigators say Sessoms was last seen driving a 2019 Toyota Corolla that's missing its front bumper and hubcaps on the passenger side. I pulled Sessoms' criminal record, and he is a felon who has served multiple prison sentences. He currently has 2 pending felony drug charges here in Wilson County. Wilson police tell me they're using every tool in their power to try and track him down. If you have any information about Sessoms' whereabouts, please call Wilson Police. Live in Wilson, Holden Kerwicki, CBS 17 News.
And let me say this, Anita. Like, people can see what you typed in the chat. Like, I won't repeat it, but I will say this. It's like you're at least asking a question as far as like a scenario. I think it's possible, but I think even that might be a little bit far-fetched. But like I say, I don't know. But I do feel where you're coming from. You guys are entitled to your opinion, but I'm just not sure about that one. So some people are talking about antidepressants and stuff like that. It's possible. It's possible. But let's keep going. We got a couple more videos real quick. If you guys would, click that thumbs up. And I want you guys to also remember, do not forget that this guy is a felon. He is a criminal. Let me read his criminal history again, if you guys do not mind. He was convicted of felony larceny of firearms in Wilson County in March of 2016. Misdemeanor maintaining a place for a controlled substance in April of 2016. Felony marijuana possession in Nash County in November of 2016. And he also has violated his probation, and his probation was revoked twice in 2017, resulting in separate 3-month stints in prison. He is a career criminal. Thank you. It's absolutely right. They're trying to say he shot the baby because he was a racist. Well, okay, well, let me say this. How much of a racist can he be if he invited him over for dinner? We got to remember that point too. Last time I checked, I don't know any racists inviting any people that they don't like over for dinner. So that part would still have to be explained. I'm just saying. We cannot skip that and act like that didn't happen, because they've been neighbors for a while. They were familiar with each other. And last time I checked, neighbors that don't like their other neighbors don't invite them over for dinner. Right? Thought I'd throw that out there because we got to remember that part too. Let's keep going.
Now, a crime alert coming out of Wilson this morning. Such an upsetting story. Police are looking for the person they believe shot and killed a 5-year-old.
CBS 17's Holden Kerwicki joins us now live in Wilson, where the search is drawn out overnight. Holden, what information is police sharing?
Well, Laura, at this time, investigators tell us they plan to charge 25-year-old Darius Sessoms with first-degree murder, but first they still have to take him into custody. Sessoms was last seen driving a 2019 black Toyota Corolla. The front bumper is missing, and the license plate number is TCH 2773. That's a North Carolina plate. We're told a child was taken to the hospital after the shooting on Archers Road last night at about 5:30, but the child died from their injuries. Neighbors tell us that the shooting has everyone in the community on high alert. Now, if you have any information about Sessoms' whereabouts, you are being asked to call the Wilson police. You can also leave an anonymous tip with Crime Stoppers. Live in Wilson, Holden Kerwicki, CBS 17 News.
Now, this is actually a video of the crime scene. And again, if you guys are listening, our goal is 300 thumbs up. I would hope that we can get there. If not, it's okay. But just make sure you guys keep clicking that thumbs up, okay? I think this is a pretty short video. If it's not, then I might skip this one. Let me skip this one.
In with tragedy after gunfire claims the life of a 5-year-old in Wilson. CBS 17's Imani Payne is covering the story live from Wilson County, and Imani, police are looking for a suspect at this hour.
Yes, Maggie, police are still looking for the man that they say shot that 5-year-old tonight. Now, here is where it happened. You can get a look at the scene now. It is still very active, and people living nearby tell us it has everyone on alert. Archer's Road covered with police cars, neighbors looking on in disbelief.
It's usually quiet. I mean, you might hear cars kind of loud and stuff like that, but for us, this right here going on, no, you don't see none of this.
It's here where police say a 5-year-old child was shot and killed. Authorities saying the suspect, Darius Sessoms, remains on the run tonight, facing an active warrant for first-degree murder. He was last seen driving a black 2019 Toyota Corolla with North Carolina license plate number TCH2773.
I hope y'all don't mind me raising my hand. I'm going to raise my hand like we're in class. Because you know why? Because DJ Just Jay has a question. They just said that this fool was riding around in a 2019 vehicle. And I want y'all to also notice from the other pictures, maybe I could show you now. The front of that car was completely torn off. Let me see if I could pull the photo up for you. This one. That's the same car. It looks like this car is on spare rims, because those don't look like the factory rims. That car looks effed up. Right? The whole front end of this car is torn up. It's wrecked. It's crashed. It looks destroyed. And it's a 2019? But here's my question. Why is a criminal and a thug and a convicted felon allowed to ride around in a car? Because I can almost guarantee you that this career criminal doesn't have a license and he does not have insurance. Y'all think he got a driver's license? I say not. Riding around in a 2019 vehicle. I know most Americans don't have 2019s and 2020s that are doing pretty well to be able to take care of themselves. Let alone this dude is how old? 25 years old. With a damn near brand new car. Just throwing it out there that it's crazy. All right? Let's keep going.
The vehicle's front bumper is missing.
Man, it's sad. It hurts. Oh, that needs to be justice, needs to be served.
Again, the search is still on for the suspect. Police tell us they are using all of their resources right now to find him. For now, we're live in Wilson. Imani Payne, CBS 17 News.
All right, thank you, Imani. So sad.
The same concept that I apply to the girlfriends allowing their gangster boyfriends to ride around and do drive-bys in cars would also apply in this situation. So I would have to wonder who let this dude drive around in their 2019 car. I'm just saying. I think this might be another silent video. Let me see. Yeah, it is. Looks like the same video. Let me skip this one. Here we go.
New tonight, a neighbor is charged with first-degree murder and being held without bond, accused of shooting a 5-year-old boy to death while he played outside. WR's Rosalie Federa joins us live from Wilson after talking with a woman who saw this heartbreaking crime take place. Rosalia?
A neighbor did. She was sitting inside looking out her window, and she witnessed firsthand a little boy get shot in the head by his neighbor. We talked to her exclusively. She tells us she could not believe what she saw.
People don't run across the street and kill kids.
Sitting in this chair with a clear view of 5-year-old Cannon Hinnant and his siblings playing outside, Doris LeBret could not believe what she saw.
My first reaction was he's playing with the kids. And when I saw him just ride right up to him and put the gun right on his head and shot him.
She says 25-year-old Darius Sessoms shot 5-year-old Cannon while he was playing outside.
It's almost like seeing a movie and then almost it dawns you it's not a movie.
LeBret says Sessoms' parents have lived on Archers Road in Wilson around 28 years, and she's seen Sessoms over at Cannon's father's house before.
There was no yelling, screaming.
Cannon's siblings watched their 5-year-old brother get shot. LeBret says his dad, Austin, was close by.
Austin flew out of that house and screaming and picked him up. They'll never get over it.
Now everyone is left asking the same question.
Why would that make him go over and kill the kid is what I want to know.
Cannon's grandmother tells us they're happy to know Sessom is in jail, but they're still devastated, of course. A long road ahead for this family and the community. Gerald?
The boy was such a bright light.
This is the last video
coming
coming
here. Rosalie Federa, live in Wilson. Thank you.
And we begin with breaking news this afternoon. Within the past 20 minutes, we learned the suspect accused of shooting and killing a 5-year-old boy is now in police custody. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I'm David Crabtree.
And I'm Deborah Morgan. WRAL Sloan Heffernan spoke with the child's grieving family today. She's live at the scene in Wilson. Sloan?
Deborah and David, there is a lot of relief in this neighborhood tonight now that the suspect is in police custody. Neighbors tell us that they witnessed what happened here last night. The shooting happened at this house. The suspect lives right next door at this house. One neighbor across the street tells us that the two had dinner together Friday night and that the suspect was even over at the victim's house yesterday afternoon. Later on in the evening at around 5:30, that neighbor tells us that the suspect came running across the lawn, came up to the little boy who was on the bike, and shot him in the head. His two sisters looking on. The question tonight, why?
5-year-old Cannon Hinnant loved to ride his bike and loved animals. His mother tells us he was always smiling and loved his family. Now the family is preparing for his funeral after they say he was shot in the head while playing outside at his father's home on Archer Road in Wilson at around 5:30 Sunday night. Police say 25-year-old Darius Sessoms, a neighbor, shot the child, and it was not an accident. The reason is still unclear. Police believe the suspect took off in this black Toyota Corolla without a front bumper. Cannon's family was too distraught to talk on camera. They just hope the killer is brought to justice.
And I just got off the phone with the child's grandmother, and she says the family is happy to hear this news. They are just devastated over the loss of this child. The suspect in this case has been brought from Goldsboro to Wilson and will now face first-degree murder charges. We will continue to work to get more information to find out what led to this murder. Back to you.
Boy, Sloan, that question of why is just a heavy one tonight. Sloan Heffernan, live in Wilson. Thank you.
All right, guys, that wraps us up on the video. Let me give a shout out real quick because Candy Cox actually asked for the link in the description box, which was for the donation link, and she hit me up in the PayPal. I did get that just now. And let me see if she left a message real quick. So I don't want to read the amounts. If you want me to read the amounts, then just let me know. But I did want to shout her out because she sent a very, very nice PayPal donation. So let me see if she left a message. Let's see here. She did not. She just donated. So Candy Cox, I did get your donation. I thank you so much. And because you sent that particular amount, I did go ahead and give you moderator status. So thank you very much for not only being a channel member, but finding it in your heart and in your budget to be able to donate that amount of money. So I'm thankful for that. Okay. Let me also say thank you to Sharon Forney. If you're in the chat, Sharon Forney, I got your PayPal. April McDaniel, I got yours. One person wants to remain anonymous. And then those 2 Cash Apps that I got, I did get those. So again, to Cynthia Campbell, if you're listening, thank you. Kitten Paws BB, thank you. No Brass, thank you. As well as all the people donated in the super chat. And guess, guys, we will go ahead and open up the StreamYards. Like, I'm literally going to be putting up a clock. And as soon as that clock is over, I'm going to shut it down. So I can't be on here too long. I got to get up and go to work. Because I can't do this full time yet. Like I said, until we get to a certain point, I'm never going to ask anybody to do more than what they can do, what they have the financial ability to do. But I think over time, we'll be able to get to where we need to be. Okay? Let me go ahead and close this out here, and then we'll open up the StreamYards. If y'all want that StreamYards link, let me see if I can find it. But yeah, it does make you miss June Bennett when she's not here, because she always has that available. So I'm going to have to do it myself. So if you guys want to hop on and talk about this story, or if you want to or if you want to debate something that I've said, then feel free to use that link. Here's where I want to close this story out. Again, to the people that get lost in translation and what I say, all I'm saying about this particular story is that there's a lot of things in it that do not make any sense. It is possible that this dude just could have had some issues and he could have just made a really, really stupid decision. But I'm just thinking in my heart of hearts, I'm thinking that something happened that set him off. We just don't know what. We haven't heard a statement from the dad yet. And like I say, you know, we're not making any definitive statements or really any speculations. So we're just going to hope that more information will come out and we can let you guys know kind of as we go. But nonetheless, this dude was a thug. He should not have had a car. He should not have had a gun at all. But he did because he's a non-law abiding citizen. That means we need to just deal with those people who are non-law abiding citizens and don't have them in our society until they can prove themselves to not be a danger. Okay? This baby boy did nothing wrong and he did not deserve what he got. Okay? And I think that that thug that shot this dude needs to be handled to the fullest extent of the law. Hashtag stupid is a stupid thugs. I'm going to tell you guys something. This baby boy seemed to have a bright smile. He seemed to be a very loving kid. And I think that he deserves justice. And I think that I don't really know how. There's nothing you could have did to prevent this. That dude just needs to be handled. Hashtag TTO and TTT. Need to handle him. Need to castrate him. And need to throw the book at him. Capital murder should get you life in prison or the death penalty. Straight up and down. Get rid of him. He's proven himself not to be worth any more breath in this life. Okay? I do want to put some respect on this baby boy's name with this beautiful bright smile. Again, his name is Cannon Hinnant. He was only 5 years old. That's my favorite picture of him. To Cannon, I want to wish this young prince an RIP. Hashtag justice for Cannon. Okay? This is your boy DJ Just J. We're the